Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now, Daniel Dubois has explained that he's going to prove everyone wrong who said he was a quitter after his fight with Joe Joyce. Obviously, he's coming back with a new trainer, Mark Tibbs, after leaving Martin Bowers. Now, this is a good choice, I believe. I think that Daniel Dubois does need to change. I'm not entirely sure whether he needs to change all that much, but there are certain things that he can adjust, and he needs to learn how to adapt in fights, to take certain things away, because it was a jab that he got caught with continuously through the fight from a very highly skilled opponent, mind you, because, I mean, Joe Joyce has that amateur experience as well, the World Boxing Series, so he had an abundance of experience to use against Daniel Dubois. So that was a major factor in Joe Joyce beating Daniel Dubois, having the experience to recognise that something is working and keep plugging away, keep using that jab, setting everything up off of that. Joe Joyce wasn't necessarily the faster guy in there, or the most explosive, so he just stuck to the things that he could do that would exploit the weaknesses of Daniel Dubois, keeping that jab there all the time. And he would often counter with it, he would step forwards with it as well. So he was varying that jab, using it as a counter punch and using it as an offensive punch as well. So it was a smart move from Joe Joyce. But going forwards, Daniel Dubois will need to learn how to take those things away. And when that's not working, when things aren't going his way in there, he needs to be able to adjust. Mark Tibbs will definitely help him with that, because he's already helped Dillian Whyte do it. Now, this is what Daniel Dubois had to say he wants to prove to those who called him a quitter when he comes back. When I come back, I want to see them people. I want to get in the ring and show them how much of a quitter I am. So those are good words from Daniel Dubois, very positive, because he wants to prove all of the doubters wrong, who believe that he quit in that fight. And, I mean, he did stop, but it was the right decision to make. Even the doctors who spoke to him explained that he saved his career by doing that. Even Joe Joyce has said that he saved his career by doing that. So no one in their right mind is going to blame Daniel Dubois for making that decision to stop in that fight, because it was the right decision to make. He's only 23 years of age. He's got a whole career and a life ahead of him. Why would he want to go and make a decision that is detrimental to that just to prove how tough he is? So he made the right choice. And I believe that going forwards, working with Mark Tibbs, he can change a few things here and there. Not everything. He doesn't have to be a completely different fighter. It is a fine margins, especially when going through the levels, because it was a step up from a British level to European level, even though he fought the likes of Fujimoto before fighting Joe Joyce. So there was kind of no middle fight for Daniel Dubois, and Sam Jones, the co-promoter of Joe Joyce and manager, actually explained that there was no middle fight, whereas Joe Joyce had that in Bryant Jennings and Bermain Stavern, I guess you could argue as well, but there was no middle fight for Daniel Dubois. That was the one thing that he was lacking, the ability to then be able to make certain adjustments in fights, to be able to understand that this isn't working, so I need to try something else. You cannot just keep plugging away at the same thing and expect it to work, because in boxing, that doesn't happen, especially in there with a quality operator like Joe Joyce. And going forwards, I think that Daniel Dubois needs 1 or 2 fights with his new coach, then he can start climbing the rankings once again. I believe that Mark Tibbs will have a good handle on who he faces and whether it's at the right time or not. That was one thing I didn't like about Daniel Dubois' career. He's a great prospect, and I believe that he can be heavyweight champion one day, but the fights that he needed to prepare him for that step up didn't come at the right time, and that is something that needs to be sorted out behind the scenes with Daniel Dubois. He was thrown in there too early, too soon, with a fighter like Joe Joyce. It would be important to see the fighters he now faces. I would like to see him have 1 or 2 fights with his new trainer, then have a step-up fight. Then, maybe down the line, he can fight someone like Derek Chisora, or maybe try and get a rematch with Joe Joyce down the line. That is far in the future though, because obviously Joe Joyce is now going to world level to face Alexander Usyk, hopefully in April. So that is a different level once again. Joe Joyce is going from European level now to world level, but he has the experience to be able to do that. The right fights at the right time have afforded him that opportunity to be ready for those moments. Daniel Dubois is not there just yet. He needs to bridge that gap between British and European level. Then he can start looking for those big fights once again, but there is no rush. He's only 23, so there is plenty of time for him to build. He won't be in his prime until he's probably around 30, because heavyweights develop a lot later than many other fighters. So it is exciting to see what Daniel Dubois will do next. He is able to return in April. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.